I want to see what's, I want to know more about this cluster headache shit because like I did my research on it and I really want to know more about it because
iShowSpeed has been
this is
struggling with a
different.
devastating medical condition. Today I want to watch some of his videos and messages that he's put out and react to them, perhaps do some education on the medical conditions he is describing. We will not be speculating on what condition he may or may not have. I think it's really important for when
I like
doctors
how calm
talk
you are
about
with all the issues I
celebrities
seen
that they
seem
don't
to
act
really
like
rage
they're
and
their
throw stuff
doctors
out.
because there's so
Hey,
much information we
sometimes,
don't know. None of the information is really validated. So right now we're doing
like
some
for example, sometimes I used to have a really bad anger problem. Let me talk about this for a second. I used to have a really bad anger problem, and I still do occasionally. I still do occasionally, but I started to calm myself down. For example, for yesterday, I mean not yesterday, Saturday, Friday, Friday evening, Saturday morning, before before I got married on Saturday around like 2, um, just trying to make sure that everything else was going on. But I got to remember that my wife was going through that same situation I was dealing with for weeks. But dealing with everything I had to deal with, it was still calm in a way. But using that concept and based off how I used to do things back in the day, I used to get I still get angry. Like if my dog did something, if she did something crazy, like, like last night, I thought she was like she got into some stuff, and I was really eager to get back home. She still did, but it wasn't as major. But in some cases, I would get extremely angry. But I'm somehow I'm so comfortable with being calm under pressure based off my background because if you want to be in media or anything like videography, photography, you need to be calm. You can't be angry, especially if you're trying to fix like settings in the go. You know, you got people waiting for you or stuff like that. It's it's a craft, but I seen people rage over the most smallest shit. I rage over smallest shit too, but it just depends on what I'm raging about. If I'm raging about something that I can easily fix, like computer wise, it's rare. But if somebody's complaining, like somebody's raging about like, oh my god, everything's not working on stream. That person must be must have a bad day, or that's just how they're in general. Like, because when this room was hot, when my computer was overheating and all that, I was angry because I was hungry, I was hot. So it's all depends. It really all depends on like on who's who. Like right now, I'm chill, I'm calm. I'm a little hungry though because I came back, but it is different. It's a different type of pressure, but it's how you handle it at the end of the day. It's all how you handle it at the end of the day. But it's a craft. It's a craft and I perfected it. I guess it just depends on your personality too. Everybody has a different personality type. Everybody has a different personality. And yeah. But yeah, this cluster headache stuff,
education and
man.
reaction. Let's get started. On July 28th, iShowSpeed posted the following video
Hey,
to
what's good,
YouTube,
Timmy B
presumably from
Win?
Tokyo,
What's good?
Japan, where
Welcome
he had
back
been
to the
traveling.
stream, my
I wanted to
dude.
make this
What's
video
good,
before I
man?
die. Right now, I have one of the worst experience I'm having it
What's
right now,
good,
guys.
man?
I can't even open up my eyes.
So not being able to open eyes can be a muscular problem, but also can be a problem due to light sensitivity. And this is a common aspect of several different types of headaches.
I have this thing called a cluster headache right now. The most deadly headache disease.
A cluster headache would not be classified as one of the most deadly headache diseases. In fact, the way that we like to think about headaches is to break them into
No,
three
but based
categories.
off, but
Tension
based off from
headaches,
like
migraine headaches,
how,
and cluster headaches.
but
And
based
while
off how like
cluster headache
Speed was doing, or how he was like originally, because that's when originally saw the video of him like going through his whole thing. I really thought it was a joke. You know, Speed be joking and all the other stuff. But once you saw his like his face go through like what he went through, then you knew that he wasn't fucking around. Like he was actually going through shit. And it's just like wild. And I think he might explain it, but like I think it's common in like African Americans, or it could be just in general. I don't know. That's maybe something I heard or somebody what I read, but it doesn't happen until like your 30s though. Like I might get it eventually. I'm damn near I'm 29, but it also depends on what you do. Like if you're like Speed, you know he's seen his streams. He does way too much, and on top of that, he was traveling. He's been traveling a lot. He's been, if you've seen that Kai and Speed show, they were in Tokyo. They doing their thing. Everything was all like he was going through way too much. But I think with this, it's happening to him. I think he's going to start to slow down. And the same thing with Kai. I think both of them, they're going to start slowing down because they know that there's a limit. Either you're going to get hurt for either yourself, either like you're going to get hurt because you're doing too much, you stream stuff, all that other stuff, or you're going to get hurt, or you're going to get other people hurt because nobody can easily come together and chill and like do and not cause any riots. So both situations they're in right now, it's like hand in hand. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Are incredibly
Plus the headaches suck, and I'm about to leave the doctor's office contemplating going home instead of work. Yo,
debilitating, meaning
yo,
that they
everybody
cause
need to make sure
really
that-
sharp
yo,
pain,
keep
very
your health-
bothersome
keep your
symptoms that
health
make
in
it
mind,
difficult
man.
to go on about
I
your
know
day. They are not
work
diagnosed as a
work is
deadly
work, but like
headache
y'all gotta make sure
condition.
that
There
y'all
are
health,
some
your health is
headaches
your first
known as
priority.
like a thunderclap headache, which are
Health is the
emergencies
first priority.
and can be deadly.
If your
I
boss
would
is like,
not
you need to
put
come to work, nah, man. They be like, you need to bring a doctor's note. I bring a doctor's note, or I can show you this video of my cluster headache. But you gotta make sure you y'all gotta make sure y'all going to your doctor regularly. Like I'm kind of like contradicting myself. I gotta start doing that more. But based off of what I've been doing, like I got laid off a few months ago, so getting like a new primary doctor is also crazy because like my doctor decided to retire. So, I mean you could you need a primary doctor, but if you got some stuff going on, you could just go to like a one that was like what's the Jones called? Damn, I'm blanking. Like Instacare or whatever. Fuck, I can't. Like one of those care centers and stuff like that. They those are actually better sometimes because they can give you like a first hand like they can check on your issues, and if you have something really crazier going on, you can go to your primary. Because sometimes it's gonna take like weeks for you to even get a urgent care. I'm so slow. Damn. I've been blanking out, man. It's been a long morning so far. But yeah, like sometimes they be like helping you out before the primary care. Because the primary care, they be sitting, you gotta sit here and wait like weeks, 2-3 weeks just to see the person, and I'm like, yeah, all you gotta do is just drink some water and eat an apple. I'm like, I could have found this shit out like weeks ago. That's what happened to me when I was going through my whole weight loss journey before my job laid me off and I lost my first health insurance. I was doing Wegovy. I was doing all that. I started eating differently, and it was doing real good. I lost a lot of weight. Like right now, I'm at two TMI. Like I weigh about like 300 pounds right now. Like November, like last year, I was at like 345, like 350, and it's crazy because I was doing like before I went to like my doctor to get me on Wegovy. He told me, oh, you need to go do get a new blood test because you're pre-diabetic, and you know how majority of the world these days are pre-diabetic based off the food we're eating, based off everything based off like everything that we consume in general, and he's like, after my blood test came back, he's like, oh yeah, you could get on the Wegovy. Go ahead and do that. So I did the injections and stuff. I was doing that. It was pretty good. But on top of that, you got to keep a low carb diet, do all that other stuff. So that's what I was already doing before I got on it. So I started losing weight and weight and weight. But then I kept doing hard keto, and I was doing hard keto like hard. So I was just basically just consuming just protein. Right when I started getting like a little bit, I started losing weight way too fast. I started to just do low fat. I started to do like medium fat, medium protein, and all the other shit, and I was doing pretty good. And it's like half of the shit I didn't even have to get on Wegovy. It was like, most of the time they say that the Wegovy shit is more of like a placebo. None of the shit. If it was working, it was working. But I know for a fact when I was done taking it, I was still losing weight, and it was like 4 months. I wasn't taking it. I was losing weight like every day. Like right now, I'm still losing weight. Like it doesn't look like it. I wish I was a little bit slimmer. Shit. But it is what it is. Now you have to wait months to see a primary seems. Yeah, it does take months, man. It takes a whole lot of time. Same as the doctor, same as the dentist, same as all these other motherfuckers. Like they like urgent cares. They understand that if you have like a bigger problem, take care of it there and then, or go to the emergency room. But it's like the same shit. You go to the doctor and they tell you, yo, you should have just went to an urgent care. But then like the urgent care tells you to go see your primary doctor. Yeah, all you had to do was continue what you was doing before that doctor. Yeah, I mean, everything is working. To be honest, I wish I was still in the Wegovy stuff. Maybe if I went on the proper dosage, I would have been a little bit fine by now. But the one thing I do know that now, because it actually helps suppress your hunger, so you don't get hungry. It's different than like doing the whole weight loss surgery where it like trims down your stomach. That's something I didn't want to do. And plus, based off my weight, they told me I can't. Even if I wanted weight loss surgery, I can't do it. The Wegovy makes you where you're not hungry, but yet now I'm hungry. Like it hurts. But based off, because I can easily fast real. I could fast real easily. It's not a big deal. I could fast as long as I want. But when I know I have stuff in the house, I can eat it. But before I just was like stuffing things down, but I wasn't losing weight. My weight was at a standstill for the longest time. That's why I went to go talk to my doctor in the first place. He's like, oh, well, you need to start eating more leafy greens. Eat greens. Make sure you got enough protein. Because that was my problem. I wasn't drinking water, and I wasn't having enough protein. It was just mainly all fats, and I was just sitting. I wasn't exercising, burning off the fats, and then everything converting to glucose, all the bullshit I was explaining while I was going to the gym every day. You know, all the gym heads, they were explaining the same shit to me. Oh, you got to make sure you do this. You can do this and do this. The glucose level's going to be like this. Your body's going to burn off the glucose, and it's going to start burning off the body fat because it's doing this. I'm like, all right, I did it. It was working, but doing the consistency shit is a problem. I couldn't take care of it. But anyway, besides me, let's figure out what's going on with speed. besides me.
Cluster headaches in that same category.
Oh man,
I can't sleep.
Oh yeah,
I can't eat. I can't do anything right now.
It's very common for cluster headaches to wake patients up at night.
Everything I do is like something pounding my head every time, bro. And I'm so angry. It just hurts. Like even now, it just hurts.
I mean, this type of agitation is one of the potential symptoms of cluster headaches. It's also important to know that if this is your first time experiencing a cluster headache, it's gonna make you very scared. It's gonna make you feel like the world is coming to an end, that something bad's going on in your brain. So it's not unusual for patients going through their first episode with a cluster headache to feel like something very bad is going on. That's why emergent care is usually sought in these situations.
I'm gonna let y'all know I love y'all if anything happened, bro. I just love y'all if anything happened. Bye-bye, bro.
They're usually episodic, short-lived headaches.
Crazy, man.
And that's one of their more distinguishing factors, where you have a period of time where you're getting these 15-minute to potentially hour-long episodes of really unremitting, sharp, stabbing pain, usually on one side of your head. This type of headache usually also comes with some very unique features. Watery eyes, swelling of the eyes, skin color changes, even difficulty with opening the eye. These symptoms happening in this episodic pattern can be diagnosed as cluster headaches with the help of a doctor. One of the more troublesome factors about cluster headaches is their period of which they're impacting you. Meaning that there are times where these 15 to hour-long bouts can be occurring over a period of months. And sometimes they can happen multiple times in one day. Sometimes they happen every other day. Cluster headaches are so debilitating that we've seen research show that as many as 40 to 50% of people develop symptoms of depression related to their cluster headaches. You could see his eye is very swollen. He's having some orbital edema. Not sure what the patch on his head is. Perhaps a lidocaine patch. Very difficult to know in a situation like this, but you could see his eyes impacted. There are multiple theories that exist as to why cluster headaches happen and how they happen. The main theory really focuses on the trigeminal nerve, which is the fifth cranial nerve. It has 3 distinct branches. That's why it's called the trigeminal. Gives sensory sensation to the face. And then the second part of it is the hypothalamus. Now that hypothalamus acts as the sensor for that homeostasis. When I say sensor, that means it's merging the worlds of the neurologic system, the nerves and how it gets all that information, and the endocrine system, which is how it makes impact on the body. Remember, in order to make changes in the body, you can do it through nerves, but you could also do it through hormones. And hormones essentially act as modulators for the body. In fact, there's a whole list here of the hormones that are regulated by the hypothalamus right here. Obviously, people are wondering about treatments for a condition like this. Usually 100% oxygen with a non-rebreather mask is great for acute attacks, and we do that in the hospital quite frequently. There are also many medications that we can use as oral treatments for cluster headaches. And then if we're having really recurrent attacks, there are actually preventive medications we could use as well. There are some rare instances where surgery can be an option, and we'll talk about that when iShowSpeed brings that up.
I'm currently still in the hospital, you know, and I'm hospitalized.
We're looking at his vitals here on the side. They look rather normal, which is a reassuring sign.
But I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. You know, like I said, I am hospitalized. They can keep me in here for months, weeks, days, or years.
I've personally never heard of a condition where a patient is hospitalized for years. I mean, I'm sure there's rare outliers. If this is truly, in fact, what he's saying, that it's a cluster headache, the idea that he would be hospitalized for weeks, let alone months, is pretty unheard of in a situation like this.
I just did the MRI, whatever it's called.
He's saying that he got an MRI because in order to make the diagnosis based on the International Classification of Headache Disorders, you need to rule out any other conditions that can cause these symptoms. The way we think about headaches in medicine is a primary headache or a secondary headache. Now, a primary headache is happening because the headache itself is the cause, primary. Secondary is happening as a result of another cause. So when we're doing an MRI, we're checking for vascular causes of headaches. We're checking for neoplasm causes of headaches, that's cancer. So we're checking for structural abnormalities that could be a secondary cause of headaches.
This hurts. I'm having like a huge, it's like an ache right here and back here.
He's describing ipsilateral pain that we just talked about that's necessary for the diagnosis. It's happening on one side.
But the crazy thing is,
when
that video happened, this happened like
classifications that we need
single
for
day.
cluster headaches. The one thing that he hasn't quite said in all his videos is whether or not this is episodic. Is it coming and going? Is he getting periods of remission? There are instances where there is no remission for like chronic cluster headaches. The cluster episodes just keep coming for a really long time, or the periods of remission are just very short. In those instances, you have to be much more aggressive in your management.
I can definitely understand.
I just think I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Generally, every second. I'm not like, because it hurts so bad, I don't know what's going on, my heart being fast.
If you have a good relationship with a doctor and they come in and they explain to you, look, I think this is a cluster headache. This is not lethal. This is gonna be very debilitating and annoying until we figure out the correct treatment for you. But once we do, we can get this under better control in many instances. Suddenly, that'll calm him down, allow him to rest, allow him to better manage his symptoms. But of course, if you're worried and you don't know and you have this fear of this terrible head pain without an explanation, it's not unusual for him to think that his life is coming to an end. And he even mentions that his heart rate is very fast. This is a perfect example of how mental health can be disconnected somewhat to physical health. When someone says, I have a pain in my arm, and there's nothing anatomically wrong with their arm, doesn't mean the pain doesn't exist. It means the source is not coming from the arm, it's coming from the mind. And in this situation, you could see on the monitor, real time, his pulse is normal, but he feels like it's fast, because of that mental state he's currently in.
Hello guys, quick update.
Downstairs by herself between that long.
I don't know what I have right now. I'm about to go through surgery right now.
You know, he says in this clip that he's about to go through surgery. I don't know if that's necessarily true, because while there are several promising but not really proven ways that you can use neurostimulation, where they put either a deep brain stimulator or something else to impact the neurological function of your brain and nerves, it hasn't been quite proven over the course of long-term efficacy and safety. So we don't want to rush to do that, especially in a young patient who's experiencing what seems to be the first episode of cluster headaches, and yet we don't even know if these are cluster headaches for sure. So we really need to see how this plays out before discussing surgery. Again, this is all if it is a cluster headache, and we do not have that diagnosis on paper, only through the words of iShowSpeed. I wanna leave you with some information about headaches that I think are not well known to the public, and that is red flag symptoms with headaches of when they need to be evaluated by a doctor or maybe even an emergency room. Things that I personally look out for is headaches that get worse with exertion, a patient waking up with headaches, starting their headaches at an older age, headaches that have changed in intensity or characteristics, meaning that they're different from the headaches a patient used to have. We actually have an acronym in medicine called SNOOP. I think it probably should be called Snoop 5. And the reason that I think it should be Snoop 5 is the P has multiple uses, as you can see here. But I think the fifth P should be pregnancy, because if you are having headaches during pregnancy, that could be a sign of other secondary conditions that definitely need to be ruled out before you just say, oh, it must be a migraine, no big deal. I know this condition is ongoing and there's gonna be updates that are
symptomatic signs and symptoms, neurologic signs and symptoms, onset sudden or thunderclap, onset after age 50, pattern change, progressive headache, pattern change, participated or cough, or I cannot pronounce any of these fucking words, postural headache, phlegma, and in pregnancy. Huh.
a migraine, no big deal. I know this condition is ongoing and there's gonna be updates that are gonna be thrown our way. So if anything drastic changes or he continues to improve, I will make another update video. For now, click here to check out a video about a patient that was misdiagnosed, and this happens all too often in medicine. And as always, stay happy and healthy, especially to you, Speed.
That's wild. That is fucking wild, man. Oh, jeez, man. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise.